What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the PHDJ podcast. It's Joe Bunn and my dude, Mike Walter.
Mike Walter. How are you, Joe?
What's up, homie? Let's tell everybody, though.
We should.
Yeah.
We're pre-recording.
We are pre-recording. Where am I going to be?
No. I think we're pre-recording. We're testing out a new theory here. Let's try to do 2 shows every other week. And see how that works out. So it's just kind of, it goes to the philosophy, like if you have 2 gigs in a weekend, would you rather like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or would you rather a double on Saturday?
Damn, I think I'd rather double up a Saturday.
Yeah, me too. I think you and I are using the same logic with this. For 2 years, we've pretty much been recording every Wednesday morning, and we just thought, let's give it a shot. Let's try to do 2 on a Wednesday every other. We did it 2 weeks ago because of your fishing trip. So anyway, we're just trying it. We might not stick with this. We might.
I am actually gone though. So. I can't say where. I'm.
Oh, are you?
Super secret scouting location for the next DJ collective.
Ooh.
You're invited. Don't worry, Mike. You'll never be
not
left
to the
off
trip. I know. Brian told Brian this past week about my involvement, but he didn't invite me on this super secret trip.
Super secret. Secret.
All right, cool.
It's not super secret. I'll tell you off air. Anyway, so
it's your week.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What's your
topic? Stand by. I'm gonna pause this syncing here because it's affecting my signal. My topic today is based on a recent Elite Entertainment New Jersey post, or a Mike Walter post from something very super dope that they did recently that I'm a huge proponent of. Mike and I are both fans of the yearly, or do you try and do it yearly, Mike?
I did for many years. The last couple of years, I've done it every other year. So we had done one 2 years ago. We didn't do a 2018 photo shoot, so we did a 2019.
So what he's referring to, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that I think we do it yearly, is we always try and get a group photo shot. Mike's staff is a lot bigger than ours, so I can see how it would be difficult to pull it off yearly. But Mike and his crew just did multiple location group photo shoot in, I'm assuming that was somewhere in your neighborhood.
It was all within Asbury Park, and literally we got all those shots done in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So everything was in walking distance, no more than 200 yards away, basically.
It was a perfect day. They caught the sun at the right moment. Everybody seemed to be dressed appropriately, like Mike had probably told them. But what was cool about it, and this is the point of the podcast, is that anything that you do, right, especially in this day and age, needs to be documented. And the reason that it needs to be documented is because we are all, especially those of us that are not Mike Walter and fortunate enough to own a photo and video company, desperate for content. In fact, I've been shaking the trees recently because I'm running out of stuff for my own personal brand and for Bunn DJ Company, that I want some more photographs. So what Mike did and what I do was very, very smart. What Mike did, and Mike, you can walk us through this. If you haven't looked at it, I believe you can see it on Mike's page, or if you follow Elite Entertainment NJ on Instagram, there's a 1-minute version. But basically, Mike did a kind of behind-the-scenes 1-minute version for Instagram, and a little longer version. I think it was a couple, maybe 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes.
It was 2:20.
Yep.
So it didn't go that long.
And it shouldn't. I'll start by saying that. Nobody's going to watch more than about 2:20. Version of the behind the scenes of this shoot, and then kind of interspersed. And
let's be clear, video version. Yeah.
Correct. And then interspersed with stills of what they actually captured. So, Mike, kind of walk us through it. Did you edit this? Did you hire a photographer, a videographer? Did you fly the drone? I want to know. Give us the backstory.
I didn't fly the drone, but so I set up with my two photographers, Lynn and Chris, to be there at this photo shoot and to take a bunch of pictures. And I had scouted out the locations a week or two in advance, so I had a game plan all set up, as Joe said, with this many people and trying to get more than 1 or 2 shots. You need to go into it organized. I couldn't just show up and go, hey, where should we take a picture? I knew exactly where we were going. But then at the last minute, and when I say last minute, like a week before, I decided, let me have a videographer there and let me make sure there's a drone there. So we got some super cool video shots. The drone shots are amazing.
Sick.
And my videographer, he said, "What do you want me to tape?" I said, "Just everything. Just tape.
Yeah.
Everybody showing up, everybody meet and greeting, horsing around. You know, DJs tend to be, you know, kidders when they're off. You know, this is a Monday night.
Yeah.
You know, we tend to as a group. Now, as it turned out, a little backstory, this was also the first night that Corey came back from Miami.
I saw that. I saw people kind
of. A lot of those hugs, and you know, I interspersed a number of, you know, the greeting, people hugging. Some of that was even more passionate than usual because it was the first time we had seen Corey in a year and a half.
Oh, it's been that long. Okay.
Yeah, he left for Miami a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And I mean, through social media, we've obviously stayed in touch with him, but it was the first time most of us had seen him physically.
Yeah.
So and then I just took the raw footage. So to answer the question about editing, that's all me, and I'm super, super proud of it. I don't consider myself a great video editor, but I basically spent an entire day working on that. I bought the song, by the way. There's a couple of great websites where you can buy royalty-free music, I guess, or not royalty-free, because I basically own now the copyright to that song.
Sure.
Other people can buy it too. The website I use is called premiumbeats.com.
Okay. I use themusicbed.com, themusicbed.com.
That song cost me $49.
Yeah.
I now own it and put it up on social media. I loved the build-up part of the song.
Too.
They give you, I didn't even have to edit the song, because when I buy it on Premium Beats, they give me a full version, which is 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and then they give me a 60, 45, and 30. So I can use that, and I'll probably use it on this podcast. Next time you and I do a new ad for something, I'll probably use that as a bed for yeah. So multi-purpose is there, but I fell in love with the song, and I tried to edit it on beat, and you'll notice there's a number of musical changes where the image or the video kind of kicks in, and I'm super proud of it, and I put it out there last week and got tons of great feedback. The like you said, I did a 1-minute version for Instagram, and then I did a more extended version, and if you want to check them out and offer some feedback, I had one guy asked me for the video file. He said, because he had a photo shoot coming up and he wanted to show his photographer and videographer as an example of what he was. And I considered that to be a huge compliment.
Huge. I mean, other than this podcast being about tooting Mike's horn, which it is, I'm just kidding. It is about recognizing moments that need to be documented or need to be captured, and then getting the right people there to do it. Or, again, with technology the way it is, and iMovie as easy as it is, and cameras as readily available as they are, and again, from GoPros to DSLRs to your iPhone to, you know, the 360 cameras that you've seen, you know, people like Chris Romero and Jan I use a lot. I think Mike, I think there's even one floating around your office somewhere. Like, there is so much technology out there that you can utilize to create this stuff. So, you know, it even goes back now. You know, really, these are promo kind of video, what I call promo pieces or promo videos. These are quite different than, you know, you'll see Mike and his guys and his DJs do a lot of the vlogs or vlogs, like he calls them, video logs from events. Hey, we're at the blah, blah, blah hotel tonight for Chris and Katie's wedding, and so on and so forth. You know, this is quite different. These are more about the culture, you know, of Elite or Bunn DJ Company. They're more about the people that make it up, the staff, you know. And again, it could have been the complete opposite. It could have been like, if you go to Bunn DJ Company right now, in the background with no sound whatsoever, you'll see a reel playing, you know, when you load the website, of just DJs kind of bobbing their heads, and lots of really cool slow-mo shots that were shot on a $60,000 camera, you know, that I paid somebody to do. But again, you know, Mike has people that work for him that was able to do this, but he knows how to edit to deliver something that was super powerful. And, you know, even going back to these Mayhem videos that we created, I mean, we were there 12 hours that day at that venue, and the first people that I enlisted, other than the guy that shot the video and the girl to make the makeup and stick the Band-Aid on my face was Linus, that does all my other videos, as a behind-the-scenes videographer. And then Richard Barlow, who is just an incredible wedding photographer here, to be the basically on-set photographer. So the amount of pictures and video and at the end of the day, Linus created kind of a behind-the-scenes video of like, how did we pull off these 6 videos? And
I don't want to ask you to divulge numbers, but I'm going to assume that you get these guys to work for you cheaper than their rack rate.
Absolutely.
Correct?
100%.
Yeah. So, and that's, to me, that's all about creating relationships. You know, just because we own a video company and a photo company and you don't, doesn't mean you can't do something like that. It means that you have to have, and if you don't have these, if you've been in business in your market for a while and you don't have incredible relationships with some photographers and some videographers, in my opinion, you're doing something wrong. I mean, you should have some amazing relationships. We're talking about midweek stuff, which is when they're slower and off. And so you should be able to, I'm not saying get their services for free. I paid everybody that was there that night, but you should be able to get it at a vast discount than what these people go out on a Saturday night to shoot weddings and events for. So, given that, you can do these projects for, much less than what somebody, if somebody who didn't know these people showed up and said, hey, this is the end result I want to do, what's it going to cost me? It would be thousands of dollars. It didn't cost me that. And again, the fact that I can edit myself, it certainly helps. I'd rather give up a day of my life editing and not have to pay somebody. And plus, I enjoy that process. Editing to me is one of those, I can
cathartic.
do it. And I can see the end result in no time. And then like I said, I'm super proud of it. The feedback I've gotten, I sent them to you, and you were like, dude, dope videos. That means a lot to me. You've got high standards when it comes to promotional stuff. And you wouldn't bullshit me either. If you thought it was like, yeah, it was okay, that's what you would have said. But, I sent Marcello actually helped me that day when I was editing it. I sent him a couple of first draft edits, and he suggested some different cuts, and maybe don't hold this shot as long and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, it was a work in progress. And when it was all done, I was super proud of it.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, and that's exactly right. I mean, and even what's funny is Mike sent them to me hours and hours before, and I said, let me get somewhere where I can watch these and get back to you, because I didn't want to be driving. I didn't want to half.
Even though it was 3 minutes, it was basically a 2-minute video and a 1 minute video.
It didn't matter to me, because I knew that you go, did you see these? And I go, no, I missed that somehow. I saw your non-political post, but I did not see what the actual thing that I would have given a shit about.
Who, me? Political post?
I missed the one thing that I would have cared about that day. So I said no, and so he sent them, and I said, let me get to somewhere where I can watch these, and then I commented. So, that's how important it was. And
by the way, going back to the conversation we had 2 shows ago, I think, or 3, about incentives for DJs, this was also the night that I talked about.
Right.
We met up, we did the photo shoot, and then
dinner,
I treated everybody to a nice dinner. So we combined the whole evening, and I got and again, it was a very emotional dinner because Corey was coming back, and one of our longtime DJs was leaving. He's got 2 gigs left at this point. So it was a chance to say goodbye to Davide, hello to Corey again. And, it was a great, warm, fuzzy evening that, basically everybody got together at 6, and we were breaking up about 10:30 that night, but it was a fantastic night. So you can combine things like that and make it worth everyone's while.
So I just kind of, right before I went to bed last night, I made a few just kind of bullet points about this whole thing, and I think I've kind of touched on everything, but kind of to recap, one thing I wrote, the very first thing I wrote was shoot everything, edit later. I wrote iMovie is super easy, and I know Mike, you use something different, right? What is it called again?
I use Vegas. It's right. It's a PC product.
Yeah. I said make a long version or a longer version, but again, keep it under 3 minutes, and then a 1 minute version for Instagram.
I'll tell you a quick story about the first thing you said about shoot everything.
Yeah.
If you remember, a number of years ago, I was on that reality TV show. Yeah. They shot with a DJ out in Long Island. Come here, baby. Kelly's leaving. She's off for work. Give me a kiss on air.
Kelly, come on. She gave me the finger on your phone the other night.
No, because you were blowing us up. We were at a wedding. She was like,
sorry.
leave my... All right. I love you.
Bye-bye.
So I have this... You can't give the finger...
How does she hear that?
You come on air, but... Okay. So where was I? So I have this long conversation with this DJ, and they shooting it. I remember it was a 2-camera shoot, and plus I had a thing in my ear. So the producer out in the truck on the street was every once in a while he would say something like, hey, lean back, that we're trying to shoot the computer, or ask him again about the website. We'd like a better answer, something like that. So all this stuff breaks up, and I'm still microphoned, and I still have the thing in my ear.
Yeah.
And the cameramen leave, and I'm still in this guy's office, and he goes, God, I feel like I've seen you before. And we started talking about maybe Atlantic City. He said, yeah, I went to Atlantic City a couple of years ago for the DJ Expo. Oh, that's probably where I met you. And I said, do you not go every year? And he goes, no. He goes, I just stopped. And then I'm like, well, why wouldn't you go every year? It's only 2 hours away. And then all of a sudden I hear, cameras to the basement. And like all of a sudden this cameraman comes running down the steps and he starts shooting us. And they're like, okay, continue. And I'm like, continue what? I didn't even know what we were talking about. And the producer pulled me aside later. He goes, never have a conversation off camera.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay, sorry. I'm new to this whole reality TV thing. But it makes sense because who knows? And they wound up not using any of that little bit, but they want to shoot everything and then decide later. So, yeah, it's that type of thing. Shoot as much as you can. I mean, I probably have an hour and a half of raw footage that our videographer gave me that got condensed down to 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So that's how much waste goes into something like that.
But you know what, man? That's that stuff is usable. Like, what if there's a 25th or 35th anniversary of Elite Entertainment? That stuff's labeled, put in the Drobo or whatever y'all store data in, and boom, you can whip it out at another time. Or a DJ's leaving. Let's do a little send-off reel. Oh, here's DJ blah blah blah. Check out all this cool footage we got that night we shot on the waterfront. Like, it's just so usable, man. Shoot it all. Shoot it. Even when I talk to Mike.
Joe talked about the difference in promos. We do tons of videos from our events, but I thought this was an opportunity. Everybody talks about authentic. Yeah. How we have to be authentic online. And I thought it was an opportunity to show my DJs while they're off. I mean, not completely off because we were there for a professional photo shoot, but off camera, we're hugging, we're joking around, we're laughing. I thought it was an opportunity to kind of just show the human authentic side of the staff, and I think that really comes across in the video.
No doubt about it, Mike. It's really poignant. It's powerful. It's just really family. Like we've always talked about as family. Mike even reprimands me sometimes when we're talking. We had an argument about who looked better in a thong. And he was like, why is this not on the podcast? And I was like, that's not podcast material.
And I got that from that one conversation.
I know. I remember.
And sometimes Joe and I will talk off the podcast, and I'll be like, dude, this is too good. We have to save this for the podcast.
Yeah, shut your mouth. Save it. Hit record. Hit record.
Ever have a conversation that's not being recorded, and we'll decide later whether it's worthy,
Mike, anything else you want to add? We'll just do kind of a little shorty one here today, or anything else you want to add about this? Or
along with the photo shoot, the group photo shoot, we also took the opportunity, because I had 2 photographers there, to also do individual headshots.
I did see those. You're very sexy. You're very sexy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what it is? It's that jacket. And again, Rob Ferre, the very beginning of the year, he put out a coupon from Express about half off sports coats. And I picked up 2 killer jackets for 160 each, but because of the 50% off, I got them both for 160, and I love 2 of them. And yeah, that blue jacket with the little paisley pattern. But so thank you. But so I got new headshots of all my DJs that night. And so again, another opportunity. You can never have enough images, whether it's group stuff or individual, just constantly be taking pictures. And again, if you don't have a staff like I do of photographers and videographers, just have relationships. Like anytime you work with a photographer, you have them take a headshot of you. Hey, can you just take this? You're going to look a little bit different, and then have them send it to you. I just think it makes all the sense in the world.
It just keep yourself up to date, guys. I mean, it's just, there's nothing worse than when I meet somebody and I've seen their profile picture on Facebook, or I've read their articles in Disc Jockey News forever, and I see their picture and I'm like,
they look thing.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy, this was literally 15 years ago. Like, he's either put on weight or lost hair. I mean, we get older. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but keep it up to date. And it's also deceptive, I think, to your clients, that they see this image online of you or your headshot online. And they come in for a consult and they're like, who are you, old man? You know what I mean? Like, just be honest.
And you know what? Even if you haven't changed that much, the social media is great because it's free marketing. We can get our stuff out there. But the downside of social media is that it constantly needs to be fed. Years ago, you worked on a brochure for a couple of months, and then you printed the brochure and you were done. You had a brochure that could last you maybe for years. You were just, here's my piece. Nowadays, social media has taken the place of that. And I always think of the imagery of the in the Titanic when they're shoveling the coal into those big burners. Yeah. That's what social media is. You constantly have to be shoveling coal into this beast. You can put up a great post today, and then next week, what have you done in a week? Like, you haven't put anything up new in a week. Right. So, by the time this podcast drops, if you want to go look at these videos that Joe was talking about, you're going to have to go to the Elite Entertainment page and scroll back through probably 50 posts before you can find this video. If I think of it, maybe I'll repost it the day this one drops, just to make it easier. But that's because we're constantly feeding the beast. So any photos you get, any quick videos, you just have to look at it that way, as this is just great content for my platforms. Creating content, guys. And you don't have to you don't have to post it all at once. Hold
Your
on
voice
to
just like
15-year-old crack.
It really did. I sound like Colin.
What's the Brady Bunch? And it's time to change.
I forgot about that. Oh man. Well, anyway, guys. So I hope you guys are a little bit inspired by this. As always, in the comments, please, if you have something you want to share, drop the link in the comments when we post this podcast. We would love to watch them. Send them to us DM.
Yeah, I was going to say that if this podcast inspires you to do something similar, please tag us, because we'd love to see it, and and maybe we'll talk about it on air.
Fantastic. All right, Mike, let's put a bow on it.
Bow on this one, Joe. So when this drops, Armed DJs will be 2 weeks away, and you're definitely going to be in Gatlinburg.
Yes, we will. I will see you there, and maybe we'll try and record one live if you guys are interested and going to be there. Again, let us know, and we'll pick a time to do it, and maybe sit out on the porch somewhere and drink some sweet tea and record a podcast.
Sounds good.
All right, guys.
Great week.
Later.
Ciao.